Welcome back to Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson. We continue working in our art journal, and throughout the episodes, we have created a whole lot of pages that bring us back to resetting from stress, finding calm, talking about gratitude and our dreams, expressing what's on our heart, finding time for ourselves to maybe find some peace and calm and even hope in dreaming and believing that good things are coming our way. And in this episode, I've been thinking what to do for this one, and I think in the last episode, when I created this little pocket, it was kind of a sign from the above, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes it's very hard for us to believe that our dreams can come true. And as we created the bold page of visions, and I hope you put something in here before, as we created this page, sometimes just creating that, but then having faith that it is possible is very, very hard. It is hard to me sometimes, sometimes more often than not. And I'm thinking that maybe it would be very good for all of us to create affirmations, to create little reminders for ourselves that things can happen, good things are coming, that we are loved and we are being taken care of. We're not on our own. We're not alone. Stuff like that. So I'm thinking that we're going back to the page with the pocket. And as I'm looking at it, I was thinking, okay, what would I use, right? I would really like to add some things in the background so that it's not as empty. And then I have scraps. I have scraps of old watercolor paper from like other projects. And this is student grade watercolor page, watercolor paper. So it's not as thick as your normal watercolor paper, but it's also not as prominent to buckling and like turning into, you see how this one got all dotty, even though we tried and go light on water, right? It all kind of got like this, as a cardstock would do. This paper is a little bit more forgiving, let's say it this way. So I'm going to use this paper to create my little inserts with affirmations. But before we start on that, I would like to work on the background over here. And the fun part about this background is that I already have a pocket, and I already have some colors happening here that kind of, add ideas of what can be done. So hearts, I have some, it's like a bit of reddish brown color here, and I have some marbling in here, which also can be turned into a statement page or just art page, whatever calls your heart. So let's start with this. Let's try and focus on this. What do we want? As I'm thinking affirmations and things that are helpful to my heart, hearts kind of become obvious to me. Hearts is kind of they are kind of the things that I really want to add, because these are going to be reminders for my heart. So I will go with that. And now options are, right, as always, there's options with how to do this. I could paint them with watercolors. I could maybe draw them with coloring pencils. I could use my acrylic paints and just paint them with that. I could use, what else could I use? Oh, stickers. Stickers are a good way. You can just arrange them around and then work on the background. So many ways to do this. I'm going to start with my Sharpie, though. I'm going to start with my Sharpie, and I'm going to create a bouquet. a bouquet of hearts. So I'm just gonna use like very sketchy movements and just kind of create hearts that look like I was really trying to just, like I was maybe doing it with the pencil, and it's a sketch, but it's just the way it is. And now I'm gonna add something that looks like it's coming out of the pocket, and just add it right here. Maybe put some, oh, that one went upside down for some reason. Okay, baby, you can go upside down, that's fine. And a heart in the back. See, not thinking about it too much, just adding some hearts to this, just filling the page with hearts. Okay, I think that's a lot of hearts, right? Kind of like that. I'm just filling in the spaces so that I wanted to show that there is no empty space at all. It's all hearts, right? And then when this is open, these hearts are going to show on the frame. So I'm going to take that and kind of add a few. Now, since I'm working with a Sharpie, it's going to stay on this tape that's connecting my pages. But I still want to be careful and not smudge. Just hearts. Then go over here. I am going to keep them facing upright. You can definitely change directions if you like. I just want to fill this whole frame with hearts. And just keep going. And then up here, maybe make it look like some hearts are hiding underneath the page, like this one. Or maybe put someone up here, but a lot of them are going to be hiding because they're bigger. Maybe this one is hiding, and this one is sitting right here. The faster you go, the easier it is to draw them. Because when you start slowing down and trying to make them perfect, that's when things start to happen. Just go fast. All right. Now, I would like to add some color to my hearts, and I do not want to go too crazy on that because, again, we are in Cardstock journal, so we want to be very careful with that. I'm just going to go ahead and grab just a little bit of color and just go easy here and there. See what I'm doing? Just kind of following those shapes, following the shapes of the hearts, getting out of lines, you know, not worrying too much about them looking exactly like the heart. Now, this side here is tape, and you can see that watercolor paint did not take, and that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Cleaning the brush, and let's get maybe some blush pink real quick, also super quick. Just add a little bit of color. Oh, I just grabbed yellow. I don't know why, but I did. Okay, we'll do yellow. You know, sometimes when you work fast, your hand will do things, and then you look at it, and then it's like, oh. Well, at least for me, often it's like, oh, wow, I really like that. That happened by accident, but I really like that. You know what? I think this is good. I don't think we need any more color on here, so clean the brush. Put the brush away, and I'm gonna set the journal a little bit up here, and I'm gonna grab my watercolor paper, and this is where I decide on the size. So like, what kind of size do you want for your affirmation cards? Do you want them to be like on the longer strips of paper? Do you want them to be like more on a square or rectangle? More like maybe a business card size? Depending on that, you create your little cards, okay? And this watercolor paper is pretty soft, so I really do not need to add any water to it to tear it. But if you're working with real watercolor paper, like the heavy stuff, then you might want to add a little bit of water, or maybe even use like a ruler or something to tear, or scissors, of course. Scissors are always an option. Okay, so I think I kind of like this size, because I think if I go smaller, they will really hide in there, and I really want them out. So I think I'm gonna stick with this. I do have a ruler. I totally forgot that I have a ruler right here. I just want to measure it real quick to tell you, give you like a, this is a 3 by 4.5. If that helps, these are 3 by 4.5. So I'm gonna make 2 more. Okay, so I aim to make 4 cards, but that doesn't mean that we only can make 4. We can make more as we're going. There we go, 4 cards. Okay, so one thing I really like to do is I like to start with a little frame around my card, and I really just do that with a Sharpie. And so let's try and do different ones just for the fun of it, okay? So this one's gonna have 3 lines. And see, like, I'm not even trying to make them straight. It's not the point of this. They don't need to be straight. Uh-oh. Okay. Let me grab something that's under so I'm not drawing on the table a lot here. Now we can do the same, but do the squiggly line like this. And repeat again, and do the same thing. It's just a frame to just kind of have a focal. Doesn't need to be anything super hard. Okay, that's 2. Okay, another way I really like doing frames is I like to put, I don't even know how to explain this really. So in the corner, you know what? I'm going to show you on this one first. You kind of start with a tear shape like this, and then you extend it like that, okay? And so what you do want to make, you just want to make a shape that's like that in each corner. So I will do that way, and then turn here and here. And then I connect them by creating a wiggly line and just making loops as I go. It's just a freehand loop, and the idea is to connect this one to that one. See, just like that. That's just a little frame, okay? And then at some point, if you've done that enough times, then you will just be able to get to the corner and create the correct loop. And then I like to go over this one more time to give it some more. Oops, that went the wrong way here, this way. Sometimes the hand goes where it goes. Something like that. Okay, we have 3 different frames. And this last frame, I'm gonna, because I don't have the big Sharpie today, I don't know why, I'm just gonna go and grab this black paint. It's a black paint acrylic marker. And it will make dots. That's all I wanted. I just want to make nice dots. And you can do this with a Sharpie. You don't have to have a specific, you know, black marker pen for this, but it's just, and then I kind of add more stippling. Stippling is creating texture with dots. And so I just want to add a little bit more to give it a little bit of weight. You do want to use something that is water resistant though, so that you can layer things on top of that and not worry that things will bleed. Okay, so we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna start with this one. And what is the affirmation, right? What am I gonna put on here? I did notice that sometimes when I create these things, I go into a complete blah moment, like my brain goes completely blank, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot even think of what can I write on here. So good resources, you can just go online, maybe Google, maybe Pinterest, something like that, and search for positive affirmation. Just put like a list of positive affirmations in there, and it'll give you a whole lot of options, huge lists to pick from, okay? But I'm gonna create the first one that I want to put in here is gonna say, I am loved, and I think I'm gonna make it in one line. So I'm creating the space for my letters, just drawing lines to fit in here. Okay, and of course there is like a whole lot of things that we can do with hand lettering and make them fancy, but that's not always something we want to do. Sometimes we just want to go maybe a little bit simpler and just get it done. I think I'm just gonna go with this, with my acrylic paint markers, because, you know, easy, why not? Grab a color and just write it. I'm just gonna go with this one. Remember that paint markers always need a shake before they start, and you always want to have maybe a piece of scrap paper or a palette or an old paper plate or something that you can test your marker on and make sure that it is full of paint and it's not dry, okay? So I'm just gonna write. You can totally do this with coloring pencils. Now I am writing it on there just like that without making a sketch, because I've done quite a bit of hand lettering and I know that I will be able to fit this in. I recommend you to start with a pencil and a little sketch for your letters, because this is tight. Is it perfect? No. Does it have to be perfect? No. But I'm just for the sake of time, I'm going over one more time, maybe making some parts of the letters a little bit thicker, just for the fun of it. Okay, that's one. I am loved. What else should we put in here? Ooh. Let's do I am worthy. That one will definitely take 2 lines. So I'm gonna go in between and I'm gonna create the space for between the lines first, okay? And then this line is gonna be I am, and then the bottom line is gonna be the word worthy. When I think about the word worthy, I will spell it out, oops, somewhere on scrap paper, and I'll find the middle of it. It'll help me place it pretty here on my card. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm gonna do different font just for the fun of it. I'm gonna go like this. That would be my I. And then I'm gonna do am over here. And then I'm gonna fit the word worthy. And I know that this is the middle, so the R is coming over here. And then that's gonna be my O. And now I know that the W has to fit right here. See how it all fits? And then my T, and the H, and the Y. So that's another card. Maybe here, I am worthy. Picking a color, maybe this. Let's do this. I'm thinking maybe, let's do my dreams come true. Yeah, so that means that we will need two lines. So again, I'm gonna go in the middle, create the space for between the lines right here. Let's do this brighter so you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? And then I'm gonna go up here for one line and I'm here for the other. Now, my dreams come true, that's a bit longer, right? So I'm gonna use my pencil to do that just to make sure that everything fits. Dreams are gonna take probably over here, this space. So I'm just gonna do a little sketch of how I can, nope, it's not gonna fit. It's gonna fit one dream, but we have many. So I'm gonna be mindful of that and make those letters a little bit more narrow. And then when you play with letters like R, like lowercase r, you can always hide the next letter right underneath it if it fits. That's kind of something that I really like to do. Dreams, yep, that fits. And then here, the space between the words, right? And then my. So probably letter Y can go right in here. And M can go in here. My dreams. And then we have two more words. Come true. Both words have 4 letters. So I'm going to bring this in the middle, give the space for between the words. Okay. Come, last letter is E. See, I'm just going backwards just to make sure that I can fit all of that. Come. There you go. And then true. And I'm going to take advantage of that letter R again and hide the letter underneath a little bit. There. And so now I can use my marker, my paint marker on this. Whoa, uh-oh, I made a mess. Let's see. Nothing like a paper towel. Clean it up. All right. My very light hand because letters are a little bit thinner here. Okay, so that's the card number 3. And now we need to go to another one, last card. What would you like to put in your last card? What would you add? I want you to think about that. Add your own, add your own. Think what you'd like to have here and add your own. Now this one is dry, so I can erase my pencil. I can leave it as is. I can trace around the letters. I could add, I could add something else for the card. I can paint it with watercolors, maybe add stamps to it. Whatever happens, happens. And you really can do a whole lot with these if you just allow yourself to take time. Now, what if I do something that I really like doing? I'm gonna put like a cinnamon swirl in the corners, just with a Sharpie, nothing, nothing hard. And then I'm gonna add petals to that cinnamon swirl and turn it into little flowers in the corners. You can color those flowers and you can color them with your, again, watercolor, pencils, whatever calls you. Just make it pretty, right? And then maybe in between the flowers, I could add some leaves. Just following that kind of frame. Maybe here. The more you work on this card or any other card, the more, like every time you look at it, even subconsciously, you'll be reading the statement. So as you add in designs to it or something, you keep reading, I am loved, I am loved, I am loved. And this is how affirmations work. They kind of stay with you as we go. When they are done, they can all go inside the envelope. Come on, work with me. And let's put this one on top because it doesn't have pencil. And you have some affirmations to help yourself believe that your bright future is possible. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you in the next episode.